Thank you to tune in to Ronnie TV Podcast, international news and local news. Let's begin. Atlanta will host 8 matches of the 2026 FIFA World Cup at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, including group stage games and a semi-final, making it a centerpiece city in the tournament. The city has already held World Cup final draw, viewing parties and other community celebrations to build excitement and awareness. The DeKalb County Commission is considering a resolution that would allocate 50% of tax revenue generated by high-technology data centers to support resident equity and environmental restorations. The Decatur City Commission appointed Tony Powers as the city's new mayor, replacing the previous leadership. This is notable because Decatur typically chooses its mayor internally among commissioners rather than by a city-wide election. Powers' selection marks the first new Decatur mayor in about 10 years, and he's only the second black mayor in the city's history. A man was injured after he shot himself inside Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. According to Atlanta police, the individual entered the airport, went up the escalator, and intentionally shot himself in his left arm. The man, identified as 59-year-old Douglas Smith, is alert, conscious, breathing, and was transported to the hospital for treatment. We continue. Officers responded to the I-285 highway southbound ramp and Cascade Road southwest in reference to a person shot. Upon arrival, officers located a 21-year-old male who sustained apparent gunshot wounds and an 18-year-old female who sustained gunshot wounds also. Both the male and the female were alert, conscious, breathing, and were transported to the hospital for treatment. The female was pregnant and that her unborn child had also been struck by gunfire. The child had succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced deceased by medical personnel. The investigation remains ongoing at this time. More news, new videos of the tragedy of Renee Nicole are proliferating, and the self-defense claim supported by immigration and customs enforcement officers. Let's replay the video, please. We need to mention scenes are very graphic. We apologize for any inconvenience. We continue. Nicolas Maduro appeared in a federal court in New York City, where he pleaded not guilty to drug trafficking charges. He claims the U.S. captured him and insists he's still the legitimate president of Venezuela. At the same time, Maduro's former vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, has been declared interim president by Venezuela's Supreme Court and military leadership after Maduro's removal. Her legitimacy and intentions are being closely watched. More news. Michael Reagan, the eldest son of the former U.S. President Ronald Reagan, died at the age of 80. Michael Reagan's life was guided by deep convictions, unwavering commitment, and a steadfast dedication to the ideals of President Reagan, the foundation said in a statement. The United States announced that it had seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker in the North Atlantic following an operation led by the U.S. Coast Guard after several weeks of pursuit at sea. The operation took place in international waters in an area close to Iceland's exclusive economic zone, according to U.S. officials quoted by several international media outlets. The ship, known as Bella 1, had recently been renamed Marinera and registered under the Russian flag. It had been on Washington's list of sanctioned vessels since 2024 due to alleged links with networks involved in circumventing U.S. sanctions. We continue. Ukrainian Defense Minister Denis Shmyhal and Deputy Prime Minister for Digital Transformation Mikhailo Fedorov submitted their resignations to the Ukrainian parliament. According to reports, Mikhailo Fedorov is the likely successor to Denis Shmyhal as Minister of Defense. Shmyhal, for his part, could take over the Ministry of Energy, a post that has been vacant for 2 months. President Volodymyr Zelensky has also nominated Denis Shmyhal for the position of First Deputy Prime Minister. We continue. Iran's Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, addressed the nation on state television on the 13th day of a protest movement unprecedented in its scale for several years. Calling on Iranians to preserve the unity of the country, the leader denounced slogans calling for the regime's downfall as the demonstrations, which began in Tehran on December 28th, have spread to at least 50 cities and 20 of the country's 31 provinces. In West Africa, in Benin, the Vodou Day celebrations are a 3-day annual cultural event in Benin that honor the country's Vodou spiritual traditions and heritage. Held in Ouida's sacred Kapase forest, let's watch the video. That's the conclusion. Stay tuned on DeKalb 25 Television, Dondon 604. Editorial is next.
He was so inspiring.
He took chances.
He was so moving.
He lived daringly. He piled into those 39 years, a long life in terms of service.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a man of service, and his day shall be a day of service.
And we're asking people to do what Martin Luther King would do.
Use our own talent and skill to make a difference.
He inspired us in words.
Everybody can be great.
But he led us in deeds.
Because everybody can serve.
To honor him, let's do the same. Go to mlkday.gov and find out how to volunteer on Martin Luther King Day and beyond. This message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service.
Thank you, people, to tune in to Ronnie TV podcast. Decap 25. Also, thank you to tune in. And yeah, we're gonna have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful show. That's being said, what is Ronnie TV? Ronnie TV. It's a recap of the news, recap of your community news. Local news, international news. Your news is my news. I'm concerned too. So I'm going to dig. I'm digging, all relevant information, all relevant news you don't know about. Sometimes you know about it, put it seriously. You're going to maybe say redundant, but if you don't like it, you turn the page. Simple. So let's go ahead and dig right now. So it's Sunday, some people say Sunday it's the first day of the week. Let's go right now to dig on some information I find out. So I don't know if it's as of they find that missing 13-year-old missing in DeKalb County. So hopefully we find her, and maybe as we speak, they already find her. The police are seeking for public help to find a teenager last seen on North Droid Hills Road. Sorry for my accent. You know what I'm saying? And they say also a 16-year-old boy also missing. So that's a separate case. So it's Stonecrest area. They need your help also. In other news, they say a fatal pedestrian crash. A man in his 40s was struck and killed on Lawrenceville Highway. Yeah, it's really treacherous, Lawrenceville Highway. You don't try to cross, wait for the lights depending where you are, and don't cross the highway. Simple. Don't cross the highway. Simple. I can't stop saying that. And other news also, they saying the flu activity is extremely high. They mentioned there's a super flu case are surging in the region with health official saying you guys have to be caution and guidance, and you got to be like, cover yourself and put your mask. I'm not trying to say we're still in the COVID mode, but you have to at least sleep well, eat well, and drink some lot of water fluid. So at least because it's the time of to get sick. It's the time to get sick. So uh, thank you again, people, for those of you who just tuned into my page, Ronnie TV podcast. We on DCAP 25. Shout out to all the listener. Also, my background is TV production. I used to be the program director for People TV. Like I say on my other podcast, I was saying maybe People TV, the team. I'm sure they could go come on with a show on DCAP 25. Because it's all about distribution. You could say, oh, how come we don't have a show? How come we don't have a show? But there is some place. There's the internet, there's YouTube and all that, all the social media. But DCAP 25, that's the new home. I'm happy to be there. And shout out to all the technical people, the back end people who are helping, that, and all the producer. I'm not playing hating. I love all the producer too. I'm not the best in the production, but I do my best, the most. I do the most. And other news, most likely they saying study finds family trapped in extended stay hotel. So this is 1,000 of DeKalb County family are living substandard hotel long term due to housing instability. Yeah, because I don't know. Usually a hotel is temporary, but I don't know if it's a southern, hospitality. But it's look like these people live. They got 4 kids, 6 kids, kids running outside. The playground of this kid is the parking lot. This is not. Could I say that this is not really the proper place to educate kids. You need to have a decent house. You need to have a decent playground, a decent, at least backyard. I don't know. I don't know when they came out with that. They got a housing to help temporary those kids or the family. Let's go housing in, I don't know if this Motel 6, but most of the time, uh, there's criminality around these hotels, prostitution, drugs, mental health. So I don't have the numbers, but it's they're saying to you. The study say it's substandard. So it's not into the standard. When you see, Hilton. I mean, I mentioned name, but you see nice hotel. You see this, they have high standard. But the hotel, my people living is like wow. Like I told you one time, I went to a hotel and I see what's going on. Those kids running in the parking lot. They were like maybe 2 feet, 3 feet high. You cannot even see them if you back up your car. So it was like wow. I was saying why they live there. Cause yeah, no, to be honest, I had to visit a friend. She was immigrant, and they had given her a hotel to stay until she gets situating. So, but I came into the hotel. How could I say that? It's one room. The kitchenette. Let's see. You could stretch your arm. If I'm 6'2", so you could stretch your arm in the kitchenette, the other arm, and the in the bathroom. So it's like I said, wow. But it was like substandard, like they say. Hopefully, we're gonna pray for them, and hopefully, I mean, the government. We are the government, so we have to go and ask, what they could do, what constituent could do to help also sustain that, to help, get a better standard. If allocate money to build more housing, why not? Because if you have more better way of living, longevity, and the community will blossom, instead of they raise in a hotel, and the only how could I say that, the only way of living is hotel wage. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, hustling, blah blah blah. And so yeah, that's being said. I don't want to stay there and talking to you about that, but it's so sad. You see, some family. I one time too, we're gonna jump up to the other story. I was working in a warehouse. That girl was so fine. She blew my mind. You know that rap. So, and people were pointing her. I mean, talking in the back of her head. They said she live in a hotel. She got 7 kids. I said, what? She got 7 kids. She live in a hotel. Wow. I said, wow. You know, I had to I had to pass out. In other news, so they're saying a woman shot at home, and also the suspect also injured. A shooting in Incorporated Decatur left a woman hospitalized. The suspected shooter was found with a gunshot wound. I can't stress you for now. It's open season in Georgia, so you don't have any license to buy your gun. But let me tell you about the Second Amendment, because I'm it's I'm not trying to I'm trying to understand that, because that that was from the founding father. That was from the pioneer. That's what that was from the people, the habitant, when they came in America, and they have to face hostility. They had to face, put it this way, other habitant was in that country. Native was in that country. The native wanted to protect themselves, so I'm sure they had some killing. But you guys came up with the Second Amendment, or we got better to protect ourselves. Okay, but now we're in 2026. You got to cut that off, the Second Amendment. So trying to protect from who? From your craziness, from your mental. So that Second Amendment is obsolete. I know, I get the idea. So you gotta be get your arms. So because sometimes other native it's hostile to you coming to colonize their country. So I mean that I believe that's why you voted. That's only logical thought I could give you because why you guys keep the Second Amendment and now we got somebody a woman shot at home and blah blah blah, and the suspect isn't one that also it's so ridiculous. The Second Amendment, please don't delete that. But again, you guys are cavemen or cave woman. You're not gonna do it because you're still thinking you're living in a hostile land. You're living in a hostile, colonization time, like 17th century, 18th century, and the far west. That's being said. They mentioned also in the other news. We continue. A man surrendered after SWAT. So stand off. So most likely he had a rifle again, armed man, and he barricaded in a home, and he surrendered peacefully. At least he has some decent start. I'm sure other people will help him to surrender, but you know. They mentioned also body found after search for a missing senior. So they find that senior. Yes, let's give it applause for that senior they found. He was 79-year old, and the woman's remains were discovered near her home. So that's they discovered her. So they say also there's other fatal shooting reported. So the recent deadly shooting near Wesley Chapel Road and other locations are under investigation. You gotta cut that gun, because I had a friend. He's told me, Ronnie, if you carry a gun, be expected to be shoot and to be killed. So he never carry a gun. He's a decent, man. He go to school, university, you know. So in other news, they mentioned DCAB and Atlanta negotiate Emory area annexation agreement. So the county commission approved a deal with the city of Atlanta over 744 acres, including Emory and CDC campus. So they want to do some business over there. So it's so sad. Let's go take a quick break and we come back with more news on Ronnie TV podcast Decap 25. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages. Thank you, people, to tune in to Ronnie TV podcast on Decap 25. So to continue, we're going to talk about the guns again because I'm laughing, but it's disgusting. So Atlanta protesting for the ICE-related shooting. So if you see the video surfacing, that woman was backing up away from the ICE. Again, trigger happy. Like, I don't know. I do part-time security. Yes, I have a side job, a side hustle. But I know you guys gonna think you guys are professional or police. I'm not trying to say all the police, all the people, uh, you know, are the same. But sometimes, because we have a video circulating, they killed that woman, you know, Renee. They killed Renee and Renee Nicole. So rest in peace. So we see the confrontation. If it's a confrontation, I don't know. It's on one side. I guess it's on the ICE agent side because they were backing up. You see on the video. I think I put that also. She was backing up and getting away. But she's driving. She got her two hands on the wheel. Does she have a pistol in her car and whipping at you? She's backing up. And the men have the honesty to say, "Oh, I thought you guys gonna kill me with a car." And people, your employers, like people, whatever the management who hired that guy, Please. Some people, you got to put them into a test. He's got a gun. The woman don't have a gun. Even you got 20 teenagers and they mad. You. That's an example I'm giving you. You got people facing you and none of them have a gun. Are you gonna shoot them so they could disperse and they could your life, you're trading for your life? That woman was backing up. So if she was backing up away, why you pull up your gun and you shoot? And what basis? Because you fearing for your life. Yo, when I go to work, me sometimes, and I don't want to work at night, but I have to push homeless, and then there's 6 feet, distance I have to say. When I give the order, I say, hey, please, could you move away? But in my head, I'm, but also I gotta de-escalate. That's the key. De-escalate. Even if you fear, you're sweating, you gotta de-escalate. But you gotta stop. I'm gonna leave you in that conclusion. Thank you again, people, to tune in to Ronnie TV podcast on DCAB 25. Shout out to my people TV. Shout out to all my listeners. And please, every Sunday, I'll be at the same channel, 6 p.m. to 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Be blessed and cover yourself because it's gonna be cold. You know what I'm saying?
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Next.